yesterday. We saw the news around the Southeast Development Commission and what happened during the budget defense with the Senate committee, and a lot of things that were said. There were questions asked around, prudence in terms of planned spending of the Southeast Development Commission. We had Mark Okoye there, we had senators in that committee, Tony Moye, Ojiz Okalo, questioning some of the things that the Southeast Development Commission outlined that wants to do in 2026 with the money that he has budgeted for itself. So the Senate Committee on the Southeast Development Commission cautioned this newly established agency about financial recklessness, against recklessness, and urged the leadership of the Commission to prioritize regional transformation over issues around siphoning of public funds. The committee chairman is Senator Ojus Okalo, who is the senator representing APC, Abia North, and is of the APC fold. He emphasized that the commission was created by the president to address decades of systemic neglect in the Southeast. Quoting him directly, he said, "I plead with you not to take this commission as a place for siphoning money. Our region has suffered so much, and Mr. President has honored us with this commission. The committee will be very ruthless in its oversight to ensure tangible benefits for our people." So yeah, like I said in his presentation, the managing director of the SEDC, Mark Okoye, unveiled an ambitious economic roadmap. The commission is aiming to grow the Southeast into a $200 billion economy within the next 10 years. Let's take a listen to what Mark Okoye had to say yesterday at the Senate Defense meeting. Is it meeting? Senate Defense, Budget Defense meeting.
What do I mean? I have a quick example, sir, and I can share that copy with everybody here. There were about 14 known IPOP members in the hall who, prior to that event, what they were saying was no retreat, no surrender. Biafra land, we only want this. The same people have done posts after attending that event for 4 days. And the response is, this is the first time I had the opportunity to contribute my own ideas to the development of Southeast Nigeria. No more Biafra land. Our role as SCDC, with your support, is not only infrastructure. We have to work on the minds of our people, orientation, get them to understand that what we are doing is for their own benefit and for their future. Second bucket is the optimistic skeptics. Some people are skeptical about a long-term plan, but they're optimistic about it, that this is the right way to go. The third is the youth. They say they like the tech idea, they like venture capital, they want fellowships, but they're waiting for it to start. The fourth bucket is the private sector and diaspora. 72 persons flew from the South America and UK to attend at their own cost. They asked us for tickets. We said no. If you want to attend, you attend. And they came and participated. So them and the private sector, they're interested, ready to invest when the opportunities exist. And of course, there were outright skeptics, the 1 or 2% who said it's a jamboree and it's just a narrative.
All right, that's the voice of Mark Okoye defending how he has spent some of the monies that he has gotten in the past, about 5 billion naira that was gotten in around December 2025, and emphasizing the need for support by the Senate to continue to do more, especially support for the 140 billion naira budget for 2026. The Senate committee head, Ojis Okalo, had this to say.
If we are going to get power from the grids, then we need to sit down. Okay? What are we going to do about Aloji? You know, the state is not yet completed over about 10 years. Okay? This is an opportunity to focus on what we can do with it for the benefit of the region. We are the region that produces gas, but the pipeline is going through other regions. You know that. Okay? But this is an opportunity for us to adjust ourselves very well. You should work together. You should be as wise as my grandmother. Don't fight. Don't keep peace at all times. Be open to your fellow executive directors. Nobody here is giving you people pressure. The only pressure we are giving you, go and work for our people. Our people need your service. Nobody is disturbing you people for anything. We are supporting you people for what you are doing.
All right, those were the voices of Senator Imawachuku and Senator Ojuzo Carlo, giving some advice to the Southeast Development Commission. But what was the highlight of the day was the attack, sort of, on some of the spendings or intended spendings of the Southeast Development Commission by Senator Tony Woye, who represents Anambra North, talking about the intended spending on conferences and stakeholder engagements and all whatnot, saying that they are not the most pressing needs of the Southeast and the most pivotal mandates of the Southeast Development Commission. Let's take a listen to what Senator Tony Woye had to say.
See, I went through what your presentation, what you did. I want to appeal to you and your team. Let us dwell a lot on infrastructure. It will not augur well for you to go and spend a lot of money on conferences, investment promotion, $20 million, $15 billion, all those things, some of them are not realistic. I want to say it on record. You know, I'm very close to some of you here. Let us talk of how a man in Bende, a man in Umunachi, Umudioka, a man in Rogo, a man in the commission, not issue of $20 million, $30 million, we are not interested though. Because why I'm saying so, sir, I will not support, sir, my dear chairman. I will not support. Tomorrow they will say they spent billions on security. I saw here in your budget, 3.5 billion regional security option. They are able to renovate their school. They are able to at least be. The same things are applicable to hospitals. Most of our hospitals, if you go there, you will show that is an eyesore. So that my own view that let us have, as we are doing all those consultancy, let consultancy or investment promotion, all those, let it not take most of your.
All right, Senator, the leadership of the Southeast Development Commission. So the conversation is important in the Southeast, and we've always known that there has been clamor for a development commission that is sent on championing development issues and development agendas for the South. And now we have that development commission. A lot of people are having debates now on what should be the priority of the development commission as the set forth this year, 2026. So let's understand what the priority should be, whether or not the senators are right in what they have said, and what we should look forward to regarding this development commission.
To hold a robust conversation on today's session of the Urban Parliament, we are being joined by a veteran broadcaster and a public affairs analyst, Sabuchi Anriago. Good morning, Sabuchi.
Good morning. Good morning to our dear listeners, because the listeners are very precious.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much, Sabuchani Yago, and resource persons like yourself are equally very precious. Thank you for coming around. So the Southeast Development Commission, again and again, we've had conversations on this commission and what the agenda should be. Now they've come up with a 140 billion naira 2026 budget, which is designed to fund a lot of things: regional infrastructure and reconstruction, economic empowerment, and long-term developmental projects of the region. And at this defense, the controversial thing that was very hotly debated was what the Southeast Development Commission had budgeted for consultancy, intervention, conferences, and all whatnots. What are your thoughts about what panned out between the Senate Committee and the Southeast Development Commission?
Thank you, Yagazia. You know, I have found out in this country that when people try to rip off public funds, when people want to divert or if I may say, when people are interested in public funds, they will come up with all manner of suggestions, all manner of proposals, just all in the name of doing it for common good, for the good of the people. But the ulterior motivation behind that their quest is for selfish aggrandizement, for their own interest. Because I'm beginning now to see that all these bodies, commission, board, this and that, they are just meant to benefit some individuals. Perhaps because in the end, they will say, they will put out all manner of highfalutin proposals, things that will be sweet to the ear, but in actuality, you won't find those things. You won't find it. I listened to Tony Nwoye, and I totally agree with them. I agree with them. Because you hear about all these things. Look at the figure that Tony mentioned there, voted for security and all that. So what if such amount of money for the so-called Development Commission, if they will vote such amount of money for security, in the name of security, because it is like in Nigeria here, when you mention religion, then you are touching the soul of the people. And anybody saying anything against religion, that person is on his own. That person will be stoned. Because people are so emotional, so sentimental about these religion issues that you don't say anything. Even people do it without reasoning. Unlike those that brought religion to us here, the way they go about it.
Okay.
But we act holier than that, we act more Catholic than the Pope and all that. So the same thing is applicable to all these things, that the way they are saying it, the way they will talk about it, you will think that, yes, on the face value, they are very laudable proposals, very laudable things to be done. But will it be actually done? You see a situation where so much money will be mapped out, will be voted security provision. In the end, you wouldn't know that it is a and they will do it in such a way that those monies will not be meant for what they were originally budgeted for. So that situation will to become perennial. It will now become perennial problem. Every day you are tackling security issue. Every day. Abata once said it that any security challenge that is that could not be crushed within 24 hours, then you know that of course. So that's the thing. So this issue of security, what are the governors doing? Don't they have security votes? Is there any part of the Southeast that is not under a given state? Like the places he mentioned, Victor may mentioned his own community, Aguluzibo. Is Aguluzibo, is it not in a state? It's in Anambra State. Is that Moye mentioned, is it not in a state? Is in Abia State. Is Ogun not in a state? Is in Enugu State. So don't you have governors of those states? Don't you have governors there? Do they not receive security votes? Those security votes they receive, what are they meant for? Do they give account of their security votes? They ought to be given security. The national legislature, they are not looking towards that. They are not looking towards making a law, making an enactment that will now be compelling governors and the president to be giving account of the so much money that are being voted for as security votes to them. Those monies that that are given to them as security votes, they should be giving account of those. They should be retiring those monies.
All right, sir, Buchi. So
So,
are you
so,
specifically saying that their budget is unrealistic or that the monies will not be judiciously used?
but
What's your stance?
all of the above, like somebody will say, all of the above. It's
Because
not
of this,
realistic, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe the budget could be bogus, because you have, what will the state governments be doing with all those budgets? What will the state governments be doing? What would the federal government be doing in their own budget? In their own budget.
But they are saying it's going to be used specifically for the development of the region.
Development in what terms? What are the specific areas?
Although we've not seen that budget to
All
really
right.
know what
Let me come in here regarding the specifics of this 140 billion naira proposal. So there is a 106.745 billion, which is 76.25%, that is allocated for capital expenditure, and this is the part that wasn't that didn't quite make it to that.
And what are the details of this capital expenditure?
The capital expenditure is for raw, concrete.
Of course,
infrastructure
for provision of social what
infrastructure.
the development experts will call social infrastructure, like
but
roads
I'm
and things like that.
I'm getting somewhere with this, The issue that I think Senator Tony Woye tried to raise was on things that he considered recurrent expenditure and fringe things that should not consume a lot of money. He talked about the 10 billion that is being budgeted for
conferences,
for supporting security in the region, right? 10 billion out of 140 billion. I think that's a fraction, a very minimal fraction of the 140 billion naira proposal. So, like I was saying, 106.745 billion, which is 76.25, is allocated for capital expenditure. 25.955 billion, which is about 18%, is for recurrent expenditure, excluding personnel. For personnel, they have about 7.3 billion, which is just 5%. So, Senator Moyo was trying to point out that 50 million naira can do a renovation of a school or a hospital. So 10 billion naira being budgeted for security is something that he considers frivolous and shouldn't be the prerogative of the Southeast Development Commission, since we have governors who are chief security officers who receive security votes, who budget for security in the state. But is that really, because the Development Commission is supposed to support the governments in the region, isn't it?
The Development Commission is supposed to support the government, while the government is also supposed to support the development the commission, because I heard that they have not donated, they have made pronouncement to donate. Until those monies are donated, you now say they have donated. They have just said they are going to. Going to is not having done. So Tony Yagazie, Tony was very, very clear. So if you are devoting 10 point something billion to issues of security, and is it 10 point something billion that you are saying that you are regarding as
I said it's a fraction of the budget that they have put forward.
Okay. Yeah, it's a fraction of the budget. But what they are saying, how can you make provision for such amount of money when you have state governors who receive, and that was why when I started talking, I said, all those places, is there any town, is there any community, is there any place? We are talking about Southeast now. Is there any place in the Southeast that is not in a particular state in the Southeast? None. So any place that is any place in the Southeast that is under a given state is being governed by a governor. And the governor receives security votes. And what use are they making of these security votes? And that was why I said time has come for governors and presidents to be given account of how they spend the security votes. time has come for that. There should be a legislation making it imperative that state governors must must account for the security votes that they receive every time. They must account for it. It's very, very important because it's not a largesse. It's like a ecology fund. You must give account of it. How you spend it. They must give account of how they are spending the security votes. Specifically, in civil service, they call it retirement. They should be retiring all these monies, all these funds that are being given to them. Because the information around is that they take money and, some of them, they divert it into private use and things like that. Yet you keep having security issues, and yet apart from receiving all these monies in the name of security vote, you still see governments making provisions, making budgetary provisions for security issues, for security provision in their various locales. So it has become imperative that these security, so voting such amount of money, such a fraction of money, 10 billion, I think is too much. Yes, it's uncalled for. This is not the essence of. I'm not sure it is the main essence of having that commission. Tony mentioned some important issues, like he gave on it as an example, where you have primary schools or government primary and secondary schools that are in decrepit condition, that are in deplorable condition, and nobody is doing anything about that. Oliver the Cook would say, these children, these pupils that go there, these students that go there, are they not fellow human beings? Were they not born of women or men and women? Are they not human beings too? So why should these children, why should they be studying, taking their studies in this time of age? Why should they be receiving their educational training or under harsh condition? Under some of them, when you go there during hot season, hot weather, you find out that even the roof over their head is not sealed, and the intensity of the heat of the sun will bear on them, and yet they are studying under excruciating conditions, which is not supposed to be. Right. Are they not human beings? So these funds, the development fund, they should be rightly channeled to needs. We are talking about needs. We are not talking about wants. To the needs of the people. The issue of social development, social infrastructure development is very, very primary, is very, very important.
I was coming to that, Sabuchi, because during that budget defense, Mojos Okal had warned the agency against financial recklessness, but urged them to sort of prioritize regional transformation over siphoning of public funds. And we're not also forgetting that out of the 250 billion naira of the 2025 budget for the commission that they received, only 5 billion, and that 5 billion was actually channeled to some things that are seen as a recurrent expenditure, which the commission had queried them. Now, coming back to what Tony Moore said during that budget defense, he cautioned against excessive spending on conferences and seminars and urged the agency to concentrate on tangible development. Now, to you, what tangible development or what tangible projects should the commission be looking at? Because he talked about looking at tangible development that should trickle down to the people, not looking at going into highfalutin infrastructures or development, but things that should trickle down to the people. So to you, what tangible projects or what tangible development should the Southeast Development Commission be looking at?
They are, the Southeast, for instance, I was thinking that this development, they call it Development Commission. Yeah. They ought to have been maybe emphasizing on agriculture, things that will benefit the people directly.
Okay.
Generally, there are so many agrarian areas in the southeast. There are so many areas. I was thinking like you go to places like is it Uduma or Oduma or Nenwe area in Aniri local government. And by the way, do you know why that local government, Aniri, that is a land that is fertile, so fertile that can produce any agro produce or farm produce for the benefit of mankind. And in that area, you hear about okra, you hear about rice, you hear about yam and things like that. So what in specificity, what or in specific terms, what is the intention of this development commission about harnessing these potential resources of, for instance, the area that I have mentioned, Uduma, Nenwe, Isis, for common good, to encourage people to go into a production of okra, rice, and things. What are they thinking? What is their intention? Are they not thinking about mechanized agriculture? Where, in economic terms, it will be of immense benefit to both the people and even to the government, to the state, in terms of revenue earning. So revenue or income earning. Are they not thinking towards that? They ought to have channeled the effort towards that. So how many times do some of these or many of these private organizations that are doing well, how many times do they hold organize workshops and seminars and trainings that they talked about, that they are going to spend so much money or a particular amount of money that they have made the budget proposal for? Is it what did you call it, conferences, or you said
Yes, I saw the one that
for
was held a few weeks ago about Vision 2050.
and what was the result of it?
So,
How many people?
Yeah.
Who were the participants of
Well,
that
we saw a lot of
vision?
all the Southeast governors present.
All the
and
Southeast
politicians,
governors.
yes.
So did all the Southeast poor people? Were all the Southeast poor people there? Were all those the people that need the fund or that need such intervention? Were they at that conference or gathering that you talked about?
A gathering where there will be a think tank that would outline exactly what the priority should be for the Southeast Development Commission and come out with a communique, so that when these funds are ultimately released, because they've been having issues, paucity of funds that they've asked for. They want particularly this 2026 budget of 140 billion. If it's released, they should hit the ground running. And I want to mention some of the key allocations for the 2026 proposal of the Southeast Development Commission, because you asked how much is budgeted for agriculture, how much is budgeted for roads, how much is budgeted for conferences. So I'll mention a few. For community and social development program, they've budgeted 3.3 billion naira. I don't know exactly what community and social development program means, right? Because it would need to be broken down for people to know exactly what it means. Southeast Venture Capital Fund is 3.5 billion naira. Youth Entrepreneurship Program is 2.5 billion naira. Grassroots Recreation Infrastructure, 7 billion naira. Grassroots Recreation Infrastructure, and I think that's the largest that I've seen here, 7 billion naira for recreation infrastructure. Headquarters and zonal office setup is 2.9 billion naira. Operational vehicle is 4.1 billion naira. Climate sustainability and green economy, 500 million naira. Regional security program, 2.5 billion naira. Michael Obara Fellowship and Leadership Development, 660 million naira thereabouts. So I don't know if this paints a picture of what the priorities are. I am wondering, grassroots recreation infrastructure getting 7 billion naira. I don't know if it's
when
going to be
grassroots recreation, these are conduit pipes now. These are conduit pipes. Grassroots recreation where? Onye na-eribe honey, na-enweghị ego jinapa. On a recreation. Recreation where 7 point something billion, but they vote they propose 2 point something billion for entrepreneurial program. Yeah. Can you reconcile that? Something that has to do with being productive. Yeah. Something that we have to do with creating jobs, giving jobs, making the youth to be self-reliant. You are devoting 2 point, whereas you are voting 7 point something billion. Times 3 times or even 4 times the amount of
isn't it important to create those recreation infrastructure, because
we are in the rural areas. Which place in the rural areas?
I'm trying to, see
so
with the Southeast.
That's the thing. That's misplacement of priority. They know how to, people know how to do these things. They know how to portion these monies, how to distribute it to areas that will not be of any benefit to the common man. But in the end, it will be the swelling of the pockets of some private, or some private or personal, personal accounts of some individuals. That's the thing.
So it shows a level of unseriousness.
Of course. That's why I said that. For me, I don't believe in all these in establishment of all these agencies. You call it commission or whatever name you call it. These are avenues for so that some people will not feel offended. Otherwise, these things are because what a state or the federal government cannot do directly. You know the needs of the people. Why do you now multiply agencies? When you are multiplying agencies for this, you are creating room for unseriousness. For unseriousness, you are saying you don't want to pay a real attention to the needs of the people. Otherwise, why do you have ministries? Why do you have agencies of government? You go to those state governments, they have, like in Enugu here, they have an agency for rural electrification. Is it not the same rural electrification issue that this so-called development commission will be handling? So can't those rural development, why can't they use the rural electrification development agency that you have in the states to do that job? Why do you now multiply or create kind of too many agencies doing the same work? Too many agencies for one particular issue.
So to you, Sabuchi, the agency should, that's the commission, should look at agriculture. You talked about agriculture. Should they also look at the establishment of rail lines, seaports, and even power generation and sort of gas transportation and all of that? Should that be part of what the commission should also look at?
Of course. They should be talking about how do we ensure that the Southeast has a network of rail line that will be of immense benefit to the people. How do we achieve that? You devote so much money and ensure that these monies are judiciously spent on those projects. The issue of agriculture, you are talking about unemployment everywhere. Improving by developing agriculture, that you will be encouraging. Michael Okpara during his time tried to encourage people to go into agriculture by the kind of programs that he introduced. He even introduced the farm settlements. And in those farm settlements, you had things of comfort for the people that were working there. And these farm settlements were of immense benefit to the people, to the state, or even to the eastern.
So, let's go for a news break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation. Thank you so much for your takes so far. We'll be right back after the news.
Good morning and welcome to Urban Radio News Update in 94.5 seconds. I am Chama Owasonda. The Enugu State Waste Management Authority, ESWAMA, has announced that this month's cleanup exercise will hold tomorrow, February 28, 2026, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. The police command in Cross River has confirmed an attack on St. Mary's Catholic Church at Kachuan, Iruan, in Boki local government area of Borno State. Zulum has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to addressing security challenges in the state while the timely completion of ongoing developmental projects across the state. Chairman